Welcome back, you guys, with our segment of Each One Teach One. Each One Teach One has been dear and dear to me for some time, but mainly the reason why I love Each One Teach One is because it's imperative that, you know, if I know something, I help you learn it and so on and so forth. But everybody is not always as giving as much as other people are of what they want to help other people learn. So it is what it is. But one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention is how do you think you have progressed as a consumer after COVID? So during COVID, I felt like COVID was a beginning of us being taken advantage of in a very, I don't know, it was overwhelming for the to say the least. But we were being taken advantage of as consumers and as individuals, just in general, because it's like, okay, these people, they're not gonna say anything, and we got them right where we want them, and for the most part, everybody was scared because nobody had answers. So until you got them, everybody was tuned in, horned in on everything because they needed to know what the hell is going on with the world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought the world was going to end, and I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. Okay. But the reality here is that when it comes down to it, one of the things that's interesting to me is how overwhelming the process became in that, um, oh, there it is. Y'all just, it became overwhelming in that, we were being told anything and everything but what we needed to know. And what we needed to know was, you know, what it was, how it affects us, how we're going to cure it, so on and so forth. So finally, over a period of time, we got those answers. People believed that they should get a shot. Some people didn't believe they should get a shot. I mean, I'm all vaccinated. They have a new vaccine that, I could probably go get. I have never, knock on wood, gotten COVID that I've been diagnosed for in this whole time. Thank God, never had. However, that is not to say that I haven't had it. I've never tested positive for it. And I don't know if I have the antibodies, but I will say that the year before COVID was formally announced, I was in New York working on my IT gigs, and alongside me was several other people, 200 different resources, and I swear we all had it. Because I take my breathing machine with me every time I go on an assignment because I have no idea if I'm going to be able to breathe or not. And a breathing machine is for asthma. So whenever I get a cold, my asthma gets on 10. And so because of that, I have to have something to help me breathe. Anyway, long story short, I basically um, get sick, and nothing I do was helping me to get like the mucus out of my chest, or like like I normally would do the breathing treatment, and it would help me for hours. But this particular time, it was not helping at all. So it's possible. And I guess there's a test that I can take for the antibodies and see if I have them or whatever. But then I don't even know what that resolves. That's not even what we're talking about. What we're talking about is during this time, okay, the largest changes in consumers, you know, I will say, uh, bamboozlement was because during the pandemic, there were, there was a lot of money spent on food away from home, alcoholic beverages, apparel, and services. So all these categories showed similar patterns with huge swings, both negative and positive. But I'm not even talking about the consumer expenditures. I'm talking about your consumer knowledge. How has COVID changed the way you respond to things that you don't like as as a consumer? Do you just let it go by, or are you a little more avid about how you're going to allow somebody to take advantage of you. And I think that these are the issues that we're facing now. I think a lot of people have put it out because they're like, oh, you're a Karen if you are just bitching and moaning about your dollars and your phone call. But that's coming from the new, I don't care what y'all say, and this ain't no ageism. That's coming from the young generation. Because let me explain something to you. If I'm spending my money, my time, and my service to make sure that things get done in a proper way and it doesn't get done, you could damn sure believe I'm going to be a Karen, because it makes me frustrated more than anything that I am undergoing issues that are not being taken care of by the merchant that I'm supposed to be dealing with. I think that is asinine, you know? But with that being said, I do understand that, everything doesn't need to be an argument or an issue or whatever. But again, sometimes you just have to, as a consumer, you have got to speak up. On our last segment, we were talking about being, as consumers, you want to talk about, how we don't want our actors and actresses to lose their ability to act on stage because someone is basically saying to them that they are going to use a digital image of this individual. Now, this is crazy if we don't speak up. Like, why is it okay for you to sit here and not be an advocate of things that you feel are you're being taken advantage of? If you decide that you're going to go out and buy something, and in the process of you buying, sorry about that, it was saying my mic had gotten muted, and I was like, okay. So if you're being taken advantage of, I just don't understand how, like, some people, when they say that you're a Karen, now I am not gonna lie, when people say that, I thought they meant it had something to do with being racist. I didn't realize that they were saying this because you complain too much. But I'm happy to be a Karen in that case, because I don't think it's fair for somebody to take my money. I really don't. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right for someone to just be like, oh, guess what? You know, um, she's just being annoying, you know? And I'm not being annoying if you're taking advantage of me. Now, what can you do as a consumer? What do you think you can do as a consumer? Well, there's a couple of things that you could do. Now, one of the things that I observed is that during this time of COVID, a lot of these companies, let's say, for instance, you buy um, some milk, and you go and you buy this milk, and when you go to buy the milk, there's something wrong with it, and you take it back. Now, I don't buy milk. I buy I drink oat milk by Chubana. And so my oat milk, I know is going, I think it's like $5 or whatever. So with that being said, I know that when I get my oatmeal, there's going to be, a variation of pricing between the stores. Okay. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem with me having to pay this price. But if I buy it and there's something wrong with it and it's on a consistent level, then I'm going to say something. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I bought honeycomb. Who remembers honeycomb cereal? The honeycomb cereal from the Post people. And it had like a cardboard taste, and I was not happy. So I took to Twitter. Now, and this is getting to my point of how you as a consumer can basically decipher what it is that you as an individual need to do. And that is that when it comes down to it, you need to be vigilant when you are communicating with these merchants and vendors about your food. Like, this is crazy. Why would you allow someone to basically bamboozle or finesse you into taking a product and you taste it and you don't like it? Are you going to just keep eating something you don't like? I don't believe that you guys would. I know that I'm not going to, because I feel like, why? The first thing I'm going to do now, most people, what they're going to do is they're going to switch brands, and I get that, but I like to be true to a call. So if I call and I say, Chibana, this has a completely different taste. What's going on? What did y'all do or whatever? And I want them to at least give me an opportunity to understand what they've done and or explain to me what's happened. And so a lot of times that's what happens, is that I take on the liberty of being that consumer that lets them know I don't like this. And I feel like if you don't let them know, if we don't tell them as consumers that this product that I've been using for years, I've been standing by y'all for years, and I'll pay whatever price, not whatever, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy your product. And when I go out and buy your product, and then I find that it is, a terrible product, or it's not like it used to be, then I'm going to speak up. And so post when the honeycomb cereal, when I made that comment, it was interesting because I sent the tweet out and Post sent me a DM, and they said, please correspond with me through the DMs and let me know about what it is that you don't like about the Post cereal. So I go into my DMs and we start talking. They said, well, it's funny that you should mention it, because in our next batch, we went back to our original recipe. And what we're going to do is we're going to send you some coupons. So basically, you can go out and buy the newest version of the cereal that is really the old recipe. And we apologize for the inconvenience, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just telling you, as consumers, we have rights. You can't make me buy your food. You can't make me buy your shirt. You can't make me buy whatever. If I don't tell you I don't like it, then how can they possibly make it better? So when I talk about consumer rights, and we talk about you speaking up as a consumer and saying, hey, look, you know what? I went out, I bought this lip gloss, and I don't like this lip gloss because it dries my lips out, or it dries my skin out, or it does this or it does that. That's what they're in the business for. They're in the business, if it's any type of aesthetics for your face or your skin, they need to know these things. And if you are holding back, then they're not being told, and the product is not getting better, and whatever you like is not getting better, and it's just continuing to break your skin out. So you got to let them know. But in addition to that, as a consumer, what I am, my main point in terms of speaking to y'all as consumers is this. During COVID, I do feel we were bamboozled, we were snowed, but we were in a position where we couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So we had to listen. We had to do what they had to say, or we had to do what they said, because we didn't know what to do. We were stuck in our house, stuck with people. People got divorced. People, I mean, a lot of things happen. We don't have to relive it. But what the reality is that, yeah, if I become a Karen due to the fact that you're taking my money and you're spending me, you don't raise prices 2 times the amount of the original price, and you want me to pay pay that amount for the same portion, the same whatever, and you're not thinking about me as a consumer, but I'm the one making you money. Okay. And so if we don't speak up, then y'all just getting taken advantage of. Now, again, I don't want to be, a Karen, but I don't care if you think I'm a Karen or not. Because the reality is, right now, you know, our world has completely changed in so many ways. And it's changed because we were told that COVID had taken over the world. Now, granted, it doesn't matter if you're one of those people who believes it was a conspiracy or not. Once it was contagious, it was out there. Okay, it was there. We lived it. We breathed it. We got it. Some people died from it. People that didn't think that they was going to die from some unknown disease. They might have thought they smoked too many cigarettes, and maybe that was going to be the reason why they passed. But here they come up and they got COPD because they did smoke cigarettes, and now they got COVID, and it's complicated by these other disorders. And whether it was designed to kill off the people who was already sick, it doesn't matter. It exists. And so as consumers, you got to speak up, and you got to speak, for your rights, and be like, you know what? I'm not going to take just anything, and I'm not buying this. And I don't know what this product is that you came out with, but it's ridiculous. It sucks. And social media is such a big platform now. When you go and tweet to Post, or tweet to L'Oreal, or tweet to whoever that manufacturer is, guess what? They have someone who has a job that's sitting there watching those tweets, and they're supposed to respond in immediate fashion, because now they the millions of people who buy those products are possibly being exposed to that tweet because they are following L'Oreal. Not that they're following you, but you get the people following you as well. But the way some of these platforms work is when you put at L'Oreal or at Post, and I'm not saying I had a problem with L'Oreal or anybody, but I'm just using it as an example. You put at somebody and you go out and you find what their Twitter or their X, I'm sorry, X is now the name. I don't know, Elon. What was you thinking about that? Anyway, are you talking about your ex or exes and all them kids you got? Child, whole nother topic, whole nother day. But anyway, X, when people put that out there, okay, this is now becoming part of their platform, and they're definitely going to respond to you and take it back to the drawing board and make things happen. But one of the things as consumer is we need to start doing things to create more jobs. Because look, y'all working at home doing 3 jobs. They out here advertising for the job, but they're not hiring anybody. They're just collecting resumes because they're using you to do 3 jobs, but they paying you the same. And that's you being stupid. You see, I'm struggling over here on the Uber platform, even though we ain't getting paid what we used to on Uber. I don't care. I just don't want to have somebody's foot on my neck telling me what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. I do Uber. I enjoy doing Uber. I do pretty good at Uber, especially in LA. Like I said, it wasn't like it used to, but thankfully it's a means to an end for me. But I enjoy it as well. So a lot of people don't like driving in LA, period. But that's not the point either. The point is that I do have an IT degree, and I've been trying to find working remotely so I can divide my time up, and I know I have a guaranteed paycheck instead of having to go out and make the paycheck. And part of me is good with that, but that's why, again, I'm working on my podcast, on my acting and my music, because it is a hustle. It's a grind. It's the starving artist life. You know what I'm saying? And as a podcaster, I enjoy being able to communicate with you all about things that you should know that you should be doing. Because a lot of people think, oh, I haven't made me. Talking about Dina Marie. Dina Marie, you ain't made it yet. Shoot, why we got to listen to you? But it's okay. I'm going to make it. And then there'll be a lot of bandwagoners jumping on. And it won't even matter because I know that I'm doing what I got to do to give back to you, to give to myself. And these are the things that I'm speaking of. And these are the things that we see on a daily basis where we're to be taken advantage of as consumers. And so if you don't speak up, guess what? They're not going to fix it. And the main things that I see is our food, because we got to eat. And you go out to a restaurant and it's like ridiculous. But we're going to go because we like to eat and we like to enjoy. that fraternization. And here in LA, people pretend like they got it when they don't. But then there's people that do have it. So it's like a plethora of reasons and issues. And just because you got money doesn't mean you don't need to be inquiring or a concerned consumer. Right. But it's stupid to me. But I'm not calling you stupid. I'm saying it doesn't make sense that we allow these vendors and merchants to take advantage of us when it's our money that's making them. They're not going to be able to have any of the residuals that they have from their products if you're not spending the money on those products, because basically, if you don't like it, they're not going to be able to produce it. Okay. And like we had, I mean, since COVID, again, COVID has been a huge factor. Walmart is a major player in this game. And I noticed that the Walmart products, like say for instance, like now my foot's jacked up because I had surgery. And just so you know, I know a lot of people were asking, I had a bone removed because it had arthritis on it. So this is a new form of surgery they're doing. And it's called a fusion. And it may not be too new, but it was new to me. So they take that part of the bone out and they put in a man-made bone. So my body not only has to get acclimated to that new bone, but all the stuff has to grow around it and it has to be able to get strength and blood flowing to it and stuff like that. So I'm not like normally, even when I go Uber, I do 1 day on and 1 day off, 12 hours off. So I end up working still about 50 hours a week because basically I'm making up 2 days in 1 day. But on that 1 day, I just completely veg out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I was saying all that to say that I order my groceries, and Walmart was one of the places that I use a lot to order my groceries because, for one, I used to be able to go there and the type of bananas I like Dole bananas, Dole, Dole bananas. I don't like it. I'm so sorry. I don't like uh, Chiquita bananas. I do not, because they're just too creamy in my mouth, and no, I don't like it. It reminds me of peanut butter. But my point is this: so I go get the little shopper, whatever, whatever, whatever. Next thing I know, I get my groceries, and now I got Chiquita bananas. So I'm saying, wait a minute, Walmart sells Dole bananas. Why am I getting Chiquita bananas? So all these stores, what I'm trying to tell you are, they're out here in the going through these vendor wars with. So Chiquita basically must have came to Walmart and everybody else on their Cisco system, and while Dole is saying we're going to charge you 10 cents a pound for these bananas. Chiquita's like, we're going to charge you 5 cents a pound. So Walmart's like, okay, let's buy the Chiquita bananas and let's not buy this banana, or let's buy this bacon and not buy that bacon, and so on and so forth, whatever and what. So if you and I, as consumers, don't speak up about what we like and what we don't like, then again, you're getting bamboozled just like you did with COVID. And you can't allow that. And that's my point. Period, point blank, and the period. Because basically, you and I were scared and afraid. So we had no choice but to take whatever they gave us on the COVID front. But now, when we know the bananas ain't supposed to taste like that, or the the honeycomb cereal ain't supposed to be hollow and corn and taste like cardboard, or we know that the bacon has more fat on it than it doesn't, because Oscar Mayer bacon's fat used to cook right on up in a nice little way and be like ham, no matter how much fat it was. And then all of a sudden, Oscar Mayer decided they're gonna put fat on their bacon like the Walmart brand. And I shouted them out. I sure did. I was like, I am Karen. Name me Karen then. Because I'm like, you know what? My joy is being able to eat my bacon, because I'm saying 80% of the time I'm vegetarian, because I eat more of a vegan lifestyle, but there are certain meats that I excuse me, that I enjoy more. I don't eat chicken anymore. So a lot of times, most people who are Muslim don't eat pork. So they may not like pork, but I eat pork, whereas I don't eat chicken, or I'll eat fish or something like that. So a lot of times, one of the things that I do indulge in is bacon. And I ended up going to one of our local stores, and I'm serious, y'all. I shopped and shopped and looked at all the bacon, and I found that the store brand of this particular bacon was better than any bacon that was out there. And y'all don't have one in North Carolina or New York or whatever. So it's no sense in me telling you the store. But anyway, point is that I am a consumer of bacon, and if I am being bamboozled on any front because of my money having to be spent, I'm gonna let you know. Because here in at Walmart, I just feel like when Sam died, and his kids took over, and a lot of people say this, you hear this, his family, they were from a different generation. So what they became more interested in was not what his whole, methodology was about his brand. And so they changed it. You know what I'm saying? The influence is greater, needs to be considered by these chains in the future when they do their research, that as consumers, we're not buying anymore. We're not putting up with it more. We just got to be smarter. We have to be wiser. This is, I think, what's just driving me nuts is that there's a behavior that has taken place. And it's like the world, or let's say the media, of course, we blame them for everything, but let's say the media puts out this information, but you got this vendor or this merchant over here, and they're like, you know what? Hey, those people, the people of the world, they were so snowed by COVID. We can do the same thing with our groceries or our clothing line or whatever. And this, we're going to highlight the value of the spatial trends and different things, just crazy stuff that they throw out there. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, like as a consumer, people are so busy like saying, don't be a Karen. So now you got this person over here, or this group of people, percentage, that's deciding they're not going to complain because they don't want to be a Karen. You know what? Forget that. I'm not married, so I don't have a mate telling me what to do and what not to do. But there are people that do have a mate telling them what to do and what not to do. And their concerns may not be something that they can easily address or open up about. But there's a way for you to do a little bit of everything. And sometimes you might have to be the one that manipulates the scenario so that you have more people jumping on board. And I don't feel like I'm a manipulator, but I do feel like I'm somebody that delivers the news. You know, we sit here and there's been an expansive insight, from a widespread of retailers like Walmart, that can help other retailers and stakeholders, but that's because they're on the map. You know what I'm saying? Last week we talked about Amazon, and we talked about the lawsuit that the FTC put out on Amazon because Amazon is lying about prices and making it seem like they reduced it, but really they hiked it up. And so, with that being said, it's causing other merchants who are trying to compete on that level. Like now, TEMU is the orange icon that everybody's getting in their email now. They have not, they have stuff, but there's a vendor. There's this vendor out there called Alibaba. Now, Alibaba, you have to be invited. Like, you can't just get Alibaba and you start buying stuff. When I got my pajama line right during COVID, we had all the issues and I couldn't get my pajama line up and going because there was a problem with being shipped from Japan, from China and stuff. So it was taking 30 days or longer. So my point is that a lot of these competitors somehow have gotten an in to Alibaba, and Alibaba has, like, you could buy like so many things, like these little things right here that clean your glasses. Okay, you can go on there and they're 5 cents each, but they come in a bulk of 1,000. And the person that's selling it, who lives in the China or the Philippines or somewhere, they're like, okay, because they're going to make them for you at a very reduced price, and their dollar is not as high as our dollar, so they're grateful for whatever they get, but they don't have a very high resale on a lot of their stuff, and that burns me up. I'm gonna have to do another show on that. But with that being said, so maybe those are 5 cents each, or let's say 1 cent, because a lot of the things are 1 or 2 cents each, but you have to buy bulk. And so you go and you buy both. Now you got some stuff that are drop ship. So these are all just terms and information that you would learn if you're a retailer and you become this merchant that you want to compete with on Amazon. But then you have to have the money. You have to have a warehouse to house all this stuff, unless you drop ship. And then if you drop ship, you get websites like Shopify, who will who has all these engines that search, not engines, but they're like platforms that work behind the scenes that will keep your line of pajamas, for my instance, in every time it updates with that merchant or vendor, it'll update on the site through this app that I pay for that works with that's interfaces with Shopify. So it's a lot to it, and it's a lot that goes into it. And I bring all this up to say that all of these merchants have to spend time, money, and effort to do all of that. But you got moguls like Amazon and Walmart who could just come in and take advantage of the average merchant. And if you as consumers don't make a stance on what you will and will not do, what you do and do not buy, and what you can and cannot take, then why would they make a change for you, for me, for any of us? So this has been our segment of Each One Teach One, where I am teaching you how to go out and stand up for yourself as a consumer. You know, not in the hood. Don't go fighting with the lady next door over the trash being on your lawn. Get over it. Just help her out a little bit, but become a united front in the way that we're being treated as consumers, so that may we never experience a COVID takeover again, because that was unreal and unacceptable. I still have social anxiety, and I have to force myself to get out. And then as soon as I say, "Oh, I'm going roller skating," I have foot surgery, so I have to have somebody carry my stuff up the stairs. But anyway, I know that you guys, I appreciate you for hanging out with me and listening to me go on about this. But this is really passionate for me in general, because I talk to people in my Uber all day long about, as consumers, we got to stand up, because we're being taken advantage of, and it's not fair, because it's our money. We're working hard for our money to spend with people that don't care. It doesn't make sense, right? So take a stance, guys. And I'll be right back with our last segment of Rep Your City. Wait till you see who I'm talking about. Be back.